Hey there, Clashers, and thanks for stopping by. I'm Brian with Clash of Clans gameplay and 49er War Clan, bringing you a war recap of our recent war against Gerak Khas. We were able to take down Gerak Khas 115 stars to 71 stars. It was a bit of a mismatch in our favor. We were able to get 25 3-star attacks and 22 star attacks versus the enemy 5 3-star attacks. We'll go ahead and jump in and look at a couple attacks from the enemy and then 3 attacks from our side. The enemy, I give them credit. They went and fought and did the best that they could do. And jumping into one of their solid attacks was from their number 30, Muhammad 90, against our number 29, Know Your Role, otherwise known as KYR. And Muhammad's coming in with a Go Hog attack consisting of 2 golems plus 1 golem in the CC, 8 wizards, 1 witch, 3 wall breakers, 22 hogs, 4 earthquake spells, 1 rage spell, 1 heal spell. So Muhammad drops the earthquake spells in the core, which I thought was pretty neat in the fact that that opened up 4 key compartments to the base to where troops would be able to get to in range of pretty much any defense that they wanted to hit from inside the base once they break that outer wall. He had 1 golem stuck on the outside wall, but that ended up being able to soak up some damage while other troops go in. He had the king as well as his golems pushing through that rage spell to trigger one of the double giant bombs. So that put everything in a good spot to be able to take over as many of the defenses in there. And then he starts to sprinkle in the hogs with his surgical deployment, which was really smart, because in looking and using the earthquake spells, you can't go as mass deployment of hogs, even if it's in a wide fashion, mainly because the issue that you have is you only have 1 heal spell left. So if you were to do that, a bomb could really put you in a bad spot and splash damage. So being able to take a couple different approaches or phases to the hog deployment is key into making sure that you take out as many of the buildings. Good timing there of the heal spell, trying to get through the last few structures from a defensive building standpoint. Also really smart that he saved a couple wizards to take off the structures at the top portion of the base. Had he not do that, time could have become more of an issue, and sometimes you see that where you'll have everything clean, but you don't have enough troops left to go ahead and get everything taken care of. You might have had enough time regardless, but having those couple wizards able to take out some of the high hit point structures within the gold storages and enabled him to go ahead and finish up and get the 3 stars. So a good attack by Muhammad there. We'll take a look at one more attack from the enemy, which is their Fizz going up against our number 30 BP Ninja. And strangely enough, Fizz is going in with a Go Wee Wee attack. So not a very common attack strategy you see at a Town Hall 9. But I think it a pretty impressive attack, mixed in with perhaps a little bit of luck. And so Fizz going in with 2 golems plus 1 golem in the CC, 20 wizards, 12 wall breakers, which I think was key, 4 witches, 1 poison spell, 2 heal spells, 2 rage spells. So as Fizz goes in here, he starts out by dropping his golems on the south portion of the base, dropping in a wide spread, but given the fact of that archer defense position, it bunches up the CC golem with the golem that he had dropped there initially. Another good wide spread of the witches, which I think was important to be able to start to funnel skeletons into different areas and protect the widespread wizards that he had at the same point. You utilize the wall breakers to enter in the town hall compartment that ends up triggering a CC, and then he's able to drop the poison spell to at least slow the rate of fire of the dragon, and then rages up his troops once he gets in there, and the rage wizards take out the dragon relatively quickly. And he ends up dropping the rest of his wall breakers to open up another compartment there. And the interesting part to me was that when he dropped his heroes there, he drops them for almost purposely going around the base, where I think if he would have dropped them behind the golems and they would have gone to the core, he probably wouldn't have got the 3-star. But given the fact that they go around and he's got the king tanking a bit so his queen can come behind, I think helped enable, along with the raged wizards and witches in the core, that are able to take out a bunch of the structures. Overall, as this winds up, you start to see as this comes down here, this is going to be a 3-star attack. And the impressive thing to me about this is BP's got a level 29 or perhaps even a level 30 queen, as well as a king in the mid 20s. And with all of that, despite that, from a defensive standpoint, the enemy's able to get a 3-star go wee wee attack with a level 10 king and a level 12 queen. So hard to believe at times, but sometimes go wee wee can be effective within use as a Town Hall 9. So it was a great attack here by enemy going through and kind of seeing something that you don't normally see from a 3-star raid against a max level Town Hall 9. So that's going to wrap it for the enemy attacks. So we're going to go ahead and jump through and look at a few of the attacks that we had in this war. With the first attack is going to be one that I did with my Town Hall 9 account. Is I've had a few people ask if I could show some more videos on the walking Valk strategy that I commonly use. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. And that's bringing 4 healers, 10 wizards, 8 Valkyries, 12 hogs, 1 golem in the CC, 2 jump spells, 1 rage spell, 1 heal spell, 1 poison spell. So one of the key things is to kind of figure out where you're going to attack on this base, or any base for that matter, with the walking queen. And why I chose this side was I wanted to be able to get to that air defense. So if I started on one corner or another, I was worried about my queen getting too close and that all of a sudden I'd have the air defense taken out 1 to 2 of my healing fairies before they actually were able to get the air defense down. The negative of that is it also triggered off the X-bow, which can be a problem. So I end up having to hit my cloak on my AQ a bit early. But the good thing is that once you do that, your queen gets healed up right away. And as long as she gets out the remaining structures around there, then you can be okay. An X-bow and multiple other defenses such as an archer tower or a cannon can cause a problem, but was able to navigate that okay. The next piece of it is you got to cut the queen off at some point and to be able to get your troops into the core, so you do that with a golem and a few wizards. And then I drop the Valkyries, and I always like the Valkyries to be able to break the exterior wall, and then you utilize one of my 2 jump spells to get into the core. And then once my Valkyries enter the core, that's when I will rage them up and heal them up at the same time, so they can very quickly clear everything out in the center structure there. And then I'll utilize the jump spell. And I actually didn't have an ideal placement of that jump spell, which just shows that you can have certain things go wrong on this attack strategy and still be able to get the 3-star. But the jump spell did allow me to still get a number of those high defenses between the Teslas and the X-bow focused on them. And then I was able to start to drop the hogs in a wide spread behind, and they could start to go through and clean up the rest of the base. So as this kind of attack begins to wind down, I was in a great spot here in the fact that I had a number of Valkyries still up, a number of hogs still up, and I'm going to end up with both of my heroes having full health at the end of the raid. So it is definitely a fun strategy to do, given the fact it's a 3-phase attack. And as you've kind of seen with a lot of the videos out there, the game's going to be changed into that. So practicing these types of attacks, I think, will help prepare you for a lot of changes in the game as it becomes more tactical from what it looks like in updates to come. So I'll do some more videos on the walking Valk here, as I think it warrants a separate video. So look for that in the coming weeks here, that I'll put some information out there. And at any point, if you guys have any questions, just leave some questions in the comments and be happy to respond onto use of that strategy. So we'll jump in and we'll show 2 Town Hall 10 attacks. The first is going to be with Jub as our top Town Hall 10 3-star of this war, and he was 3-star in the number 7 base with a mass golem strategy consisting of 5 golems plus 1 golem in the CC, 15 wizards, 1 giant, 1 P.E.K.K.A., 3 jump spells, 1 rage spell, 1 freeze spell, 1 poison spell. And he actually goes through and lures the CC, and once he gets the CC lured, he drops that poison spell. And with the last update that they had on the poison spell and ramping up defense, that actually was able to take the loons out before they did any damage to any of his troops, and it gets the dragon down 80 to 90% health down. So it made it very easy that once he dropped his jump spells and then starts to funnel in the golems as his meat shields and the wizards, that the wizards will key on that dragon relatively quickly and just need a shot or 2 to be able to take it out. Has the 3rd jump spell to get into the core, and then is able to go ahead and rage troops up an excellent placement of the free spell to take out both Infernos, and allows him to get more troops into the core there, take out both of the Infernos. And then where he's in the good spot is kind of what you've heard me talk about, when you have these ring bases that have multiple layers, that if you're able to get golems on both sides of that, oftentimes is what enables you to get that 3-star attack. So in this case, he's got a couple golems on the top or the right side, with max wizards being able to go through and be able to clean everything up behind the golem as the shield. And then on the left side of the base, he's got another golem sitting there with his queen being able to shoot behind. And then he saved a few wizards, which is always smart to be able to do, again, to be able to funnel through and clear up those high hit point structures, and go through and just remain with a few defensive buildings that he still has to clear. So it hits the timing on the AQ cloak to go ahead and take out that cannon, be able to take out one of the Teslas, and then go through and take out the archer tower. It just had the one Tesla left, which was potentially dicey there for a minute, but fortunately Judd was able to go ahead and clear that out. So it was a great attack there, and gave us a 3-star in the top 10, which is always a lot of fun. We'll go ahead and show one more attack. Since we knew we had this war in the bag, I wanted to try something a little different, so I decided to take an army that I use for DE farming and high-level champions, and go ahead and see if I could use it to 3-star lower Town Hall 10. So I was going in with a Dragoon strategy, and I brought the Earthquake spells, and looking at this base, I saw how the 2 air defense at the top were very close together, so I was very confident that I'd be able to drop a Quake spell and 2 level 7 lightning to take out both air defenses on the top, and then start to funnel in the dragons. And then from the bottom, I was able to drop both of my heroes, and I was very confident there that I was going to be able to take out the remaining 2 air defenses with my heroes. So from there, I just decided to encircle the base with my dragons, let them get started, then funnel the loons in behind, and I had 3 rage spells in addition to go through and clear everything else up. There was an enemy dragon in the CC, but that wasn't going to have any effect. As you start to see through, and all of a sudden, as I was doing this raid live, I'm like, wow, this is going to be a lot easier than I expected. For me, it was more of a test, and I don't think this necessarily means this is a very good 3-star strategy to use across the board, but in the right instances and right base where you can get air defenses down, it can be quite powerful. So kind of going through as this raid finishes down, you know it's going to be a 3-star, but the interesting thing to me was I still had 4 of my loons up, and I only had lost 1 dragon in the entire raid. So it was definitely an OP attack for this war, and was a lot of fun to do something a little different, and can be a useful strategy if you don't mind trying something new. So that's going to wrap it up for this war. So it was nice as we keep rocking on here with the win streak, and things are looking good. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more videos. And until next time, clash on.